friends, happy hump day. Welcome to my live, and if you happen to be watching later, welcome to the replay. My name is Robin, and I'm with Robin's Egg Blue Creations, and I'm also an independent designer with Chalk Couture. Once you hop on the live this evening, say hi in the comments, tell me where you are watching from. I also want to let you know that I'm live in 3 locations this evening. So if you hear me refer to a comment that you don't see in your feed, that person may be viewing from a different platform. Also, if you happen to be, excuse me, in my private Facebook group, there is a link, permission link in the description of the video that just allows StreamYard permission to pin your profile name and pick to your comment. You can choose not to click that link. Just know that your comment will show up as Facebook user in my comment feed. I'll still say hi, I'll still ask any questions, but I may not know who I am referring to. Should be seeing it. Also, please make sure to spread the craft love all over Facebook and YouTube by hitting the share button. Also hit that like button and the heart button. Turn on any notifications, subscribe. Hi. Jason is watching from the other side of the door, and Bonita is watching from her recliner in her living room. And she says thanks for her delivery today. She's referring to, she won a couple of different Happy Mails from me over the past couple of weeks, and so I delivered her Happy Mail today to her, so I hope she enjoys it. So keep reminding me to do today's morning's live check-in post so we can get that done before I'm finished. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera. And I apologize, my internet, every time I go live, my internet drops to like 1 bar. So what I'm seeing is kind of funky. I hope it's not for you. Okay, so you have seen by the title of my thumbnail that I am once again making Jenga Pumpkins. So this is one of the cute little Jenga pumpkins that I made last year. So it is 8 of the Jenga or tumbling tower blocks that I have glued together so you can see the bottom. So I glue 3 this way and then 3 this way, and then I put 2 in the middle, so that's kind of what it looks like. And the last couple of years I've made these, I just leave them plain. I chopped some of them before I put them together. And then I got it from my yard. I add some Spanish moss, and then I have a bunch of scrap ribbon that I have tied to the top. But I thought I'd put a little twist on them. So I've painted that one, but I have a bunch more here that I have glued together so you can see what they look like in the raw. So we'll work on these 2 today. I have also, if you saw in the thumbnail, I used a couple of molds. This one is the Regal Trimmings mold from Redesign by Prima, and I bought this downtown at Flippin' Fabulous. Just a very solid, heavy-duty mold. And then this one is actually a fondant mold, and you can get some similar to this at Hobby Lobby, but I actually got this online at Temu, so it has a bunch of different moldings. It's a little bit more floppy than this one, but it still works well. It's also not as deep as this one, Temu, but it worked well. So these work great. So what I did to start, and I was going to show you real quickly how I did this, is I'm not for sure this is totally necessary. But I just dusted mine with a little bit of cornstarch. Dries. You can use like Sculpey clay. You can also use air dry clay. You can also use some caulking, and I always make sure I get the paintable kind. So we may try some of this a little later. This actually has to dry for 24 hours, so if I put it in there tonight, then I'll show you what it looks like this weekend. But let's open up our Model Magic. So before you, I'm not for sure this step is completely necessary, but I watched a few videos and that's how they did it. So we're going to do it. I just have some cornstarch here, and I'm going to figure out which one I want to use. We'll just do this one. So I'm just going to lightly dust this one with some cornstarch. It's probably way too much. Just grabbed a really old yucky paintbrush. And then you want a little bit of Model Magic. So just pull off a little hunk. And it's kind of spongy if you've never worked with it before. It's super easy to use. However, after doing these, I think I'm going to do my next ones with the caulking, and I'll tell you about that here in a little bit. But it is super easy to use. I will give it that. And it dries fairly quickly. I left these overnight, and they are all dry. The only problem with them is they're super flexible, which is good, but like if I have these for sale in a store, I just know some little kiddo is going to come up and like squish all of these. So that's my biggest fear, is because they're pretty, like I can put a little fingernail nick on it. So that's my only concern about the Model Magic. So if you're just making these for yourself, I would say use the Model Magic. But I would, if you're wanting them to last and have the molds, hold up over time, I would probably use like an air dry clay or a caulking of some sort. So I'm just literally pulling off little pieces and kind of shoving it down in there. And just kind of squishing it out. If I have too much in one area, it is squishable. In the back, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. You just want it kind of as flush as you can. If you get it over the edges, you'll end up with, let me see if I can find a good example, with pieces that look like this. So if you can see, there's a lot of overhang. This was one of the first ones I did. So there's a lot of overhanging clay. So I just kind of learned to roll it back into the mold so that I have flush edges. So that's what it looks like. Not perfect, but. And so then you can leave it in here to dry, but because I was doing multiple molds at the same time, I just gently pop it out, and then I just left it to dry. And if some of mine stretched, I could tell it was a different size, so you can kind of a little bit if you feel like it stretched itself out. So that's how you use the Model Magic. So we're finger marks, and I just know some little kiddo's going to come in and squish it, and it's not going to work. So let's try some caulking. And like I said, I will come back in. I have not tried using hot glue in the mold yet. I've seen it done. I think it works better with like the really hot glue guns, like the Ryobis. I don't know how well it would work with my cheapo depots, but I will definitely give it a try. Have you tried it, Bonita? If you're looking to get into molds, like I said, this one's a fondant mold, and I haven't looked at the ones at Hobby Lobby, but they're pink just like this, so I would imagine they would work. So then I know I'm going to need let's use this gift card. I know I'm going to need a flat surface. My computer's, there we go. So my computer screen's been frozen. Okay, so I know I need to cut this. I'm not going to cut it very much. So I think I got this at like the dollar store, but you can get it at Walmart. You can get it at Menards. Did I get it cut? It's coming. Yep, okay. Bonita says she's not used hot glue in the molds, but you've been looking at the molds at Flipping Fabulous and want to buy to try. That's where I got the brown one. So they have a lot of molds there. I'd love to go in and get some of their sunflower molds. Okay, I'm gonna need to cut that a lot more. Oh, that's hard to. All right, let's cut it a lot more. I want it to ooze out. So we're experimenting. I think if you bought the tube kind that you can, and I have some, I just grabbed this, but if you get the, there we go. If you get the kind that you can put in the caulk gun, I think that would work better. Let's try that for now. And then, oh, I'm going to need a lot more. And then you just need some sort of straight edge. Let's put a little bit more in there. So we'll try the hot glue next. Maybe I'll make a reel of that one. There. It definitely helps having a larger opening for that. So I'm just going to use my straight edge, kind of. And this may not be the best mold to use, but we're going to use it anyway. And then I think you want to remove as much of the caulking from the actual mold that you can. So let's get rid of this excess. Oops. Let's give it a good scrape again. Get rid of that. And then I'm going to leave this to dry probably for a couple days. So we will revisit this one on the weekend. And in fact, I may put some hot glue in it too. And we'll reveal both of those this weekend. I'm just going to get a little baby wipe out. I'm going to try to get as much of that caulking off of the actual mold. Okay, so we're just going to let that one sit. Put it over here. Okay, so let's grab this pumpkin. And I'm just wood glue used, so I'm going to use my Tight Bond Quick and Thick, because this is one of my favorite craft glues, because it dries super fast. And then because this is fairly flexible, I think I can cut it either with a straight edge or with the scissors and be just fine. So I'm going to use some, I think I'm only going to do like these two on this side and these two on this side because that gives me the most surface area. You could maybe use these on that, but it might be a bit overkill. So let's see what these look like first. And these are a bit wider. They hang off just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to matter. So let's see what happens when we cut it. Okay, so it cuts easy. And then I'm going to get a pencil without knocking everything off. I'm just going to draw a little line so I can cut that. So I left these overnight to dry, and then this morning when I was getting ready, I flipped them over so that they would dry on the back side. I'm going to cut a little bit more off. Just a skosh. Okay, so let's get that glued. Actually, let's use that for a pattern. And get both of those dried. And I would dry fit them before you actually glue them on. Okay, so let's get our glue. I should have this sitting upside down. In fact, let's bring in now it's coming out. I had to get an air bubble. Quick, put the lid on. I hate when you create that vacuum and then it just keeps coming out. I got way too much glue. Jason's asking, how do I think of all this cool stuff to do? I don't necessarily copy, but I get inspiration and ideas from other people. Like I follow Melissa from Junk and Craft Treasures, and she's done a lot of this molding. And she made the cutest watermelon and a Christmas tree. Great way to jazz up those pumpkin cutouts. Dry in a few minutes. So we'll get the other piece out. So I tried to make sure to make, I made 2 pieces of each at least. Last night, and oops. Kind of boogered at that one end. that at the bottom. And it's still coming out. Okay, so now let's rub that all around. I feel like trying something new on live TV, but story of my life. How y'all doing out there? So I found these aren't actually, technically, I shouldn't be calling them Jenga blocks because they're technically the tumbling tower blocks, which I used to be able to get them at my cheese Robin, $7, and at Five Below. Can you hear me now? Oh, now I got an echo. Okay. Oh, shoot. Figure out how to. Can y'all hear me now? Hopefully I'm back. Let me know. Just do it this way for now. My computer has decided to quit working, so hopefully everyone's back. Okay. Well, good. Oh, there. Um, Yeah, so I was trying to decide if we should add some detail to this end or just leave it with these two. And I think I may just leave it with these two. What do y'all think? It's just not working. You like it as it is, Bonita. So let's, I don't even remember what coat of paint we used, but I'm going to let so. I only made one of those. I really like those thick ones. I should have made more. Do you think it'll look okay? Does it look okay if I just do the skinnier piece right there? I guess it won't hurt to try it because that's what I have left. Or we could do this on each of the four ends. I really like that. And that came from the pink mold. You like the the bumps right here on the ends? I think we'll try that one. So we'll just cut that one. And it cuts really easy. You like it with a skinny because then you could grunge the edges. Do you mean the skinny on this edge or the skinny right here? One or two? One or two? I feel like you're at the optometrist. On the bigger edge, so you like, well, this was one, or should we do three? I don't know. Did you like this? Which one did you like better? Bonita says on the bigger edge. This one on the bigger edge. Well, we can do all sorts. Sorry, thanks y'all for hanging out with me during all that mess. My computer just can't handle everything anymore. Okay, so let's put this other piece here. Get this out of the way. Oh, my glue is everywhere. I'm going to try to put the cut, well, this one has cut edges on both sides. I was going to try to put the cut edges on the bottom, but one piece happens to have cut edges on both. You want to press it down, but don't press too hard because you don't want to squash your molds. I have made a mess of this glue. I appreciate that you aren't going to leave me hanging, Bonita. I'm sorry I didn't stick around when I dropped your stuff off, but I knew you were busy with a customer, so I didn't want to intrude on anybody's privacy. So there's that side. So there's our two pieces right there. So we'll just measure this one. Denise says it. She had a busy day. She was busy when I went in. She had somebody on the phone. She had somebody sitting in front of her desk. So I just was a sneaky deliverer. Okay, so let's get these two glued, and then we'll go back to the other one. And we will paint it. And I think I'm going to break out the nominee color of the month again, because that pumpkin ended up so pretty the other night. Let's see, this one came out of the Prima mold, or yeah, Redesign with Prima. And again, it was called Regal Trimmings. They may be out of it. I looked for it on their Etsy page, but they didn't have it, so it might be that they're out of stock. But should probably be getting some more in. But they have some other molds that have some trimmings and other designs alongside the trimmings, but I liked that one just because it had, all of it had different trimmings. Okay, so there's that pumpkin. That'll be super cute. Okay, so let's, well, since this one already has ribbon on it, I think we'll stick with orange. And then we can do some glazing. Maybe we'll do nominee on the other one. So now I just need to decide, do I want to use acrylic paint, chalk paste, or chalk paint? Too many decisions. Let me just, acrylic's close by, so let's just grab that. Let's try to get some of this paint used up. If there's even anything in there. And there goes my computer again. Oh, it's a bit or something. Yeah. This one may be old. We'll use it anyway. It's really thick. Well, after I got all the runs out, it was really thick. Okay, so let's get a paintbrush. Let's see if this will work. If not, we'll cut and go with a different color. So I have to be careful not to get it in my ribbon. Okay, that's a pretty color. This one's kind of hard to paint since it's already decorated, but we will do what we can. And then I think we'll throw some dark wax on top of it. hindsight, if you know what colors you're going to paint your pumpkin, you might also be able to experiment with adding paint into your model magic as you're getting it ready to put into the mold. It's worth a shot to try. Although it doesn't paint terrible, it's just kind of hard to get into all those nooks and crannies. Right, mine's think alike, Bonita. She was suggesting grunging it up a bit. We have to figure out how to get on the top without painting all of my Spanish moss. Sorry, I'm probably way off camera. Nope. That color just needs to be retired when I'm done. Hello, if you're just hopping on. We are making Jenga block pumpkins 2.0. I've made these for several years. First year they were just naked. Last year I chalked on the blocks before I put them together. And this year we are adding decorative molding and trimmings to some of the block panels. So technically it's Jenga Block Pumpkins 3.0, but so this is the molding that I added to the pumpkins. So we're just getting this one painted up. And some of I'll have to cut off the Spanish moss that I've painted orange. I'm just kind of getting it into all those little nooks and crannies. And I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think, well, I know for designers there is a mini launch tomorrow. I'm assuming it's also for customers. And I took a little peek of the new lookbook, and I can tell you that the vintage trucks are back. I'm super excited. I was so sad to see the vintage truck go. So it's the transfer, the cutouts, and a new accessory transfer. Oh my. This is a mess. I don't know what I was thinking painting one that was already decorated, but to come back in and snip off all the Spanish moss that's painted orange. Just checking. Oh boy. When you get it in the light, you can see all the little places you missed. Yes, I'm talking about the surface for the vintage truck. The cutouts are back. Woot, woot. Okay, let's let that one dry. So there's what that one looks like painted orange. Very pretty. I love that one. Anita says her husband Rick heard me and got so excited. Does that mean he doesn't have to cut anymore? Another set. Well, I will double check that and make sure I can see there's spots that I missed. But we'll kind of grunge that up when we get the wax. So I will double check that to make sure that it is the customer launches also tomorrow. Okay, so let's get out color of the month, which is Nominee. It is sadly not available, but it's such a beautiful color. So it is a metallic sheen. It is not a shimmer. So I'm litter in it. We used it the other night when I made that scrap wood pumpkin. This was a terrible brush. I remember it from the other night. It paints just so pretty. It's such a. This one's gonna be. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. My computer is so jacked up. So we're just using the color of the month, the color nominee, so we're just letting that, excuse me, orange pumpkin dry. And then we'll go in with some wax. And just making sure I get into all the little nooks and crannies of the trim work. Sorry, you can hear my messenger beeps. My one of my team chats is a hopping. Okay, a couple more. Okay, so there is that pumpkin. That'll look pretty with some leopard scraps on it. Okay, so put that one away. Oops. Okay. It is not dry. We may just have to, we don't know if I want to do that. See if we can get it dry. Since you keep raising the bar on these every year, can't wait to see what next year looks like. You cannot paint this one very well. Make sure that I'm not melting my model. That would be no bueno. So I'll just do a little bit of dark wax. But I think I need to let it fully dry because I don't want, I think the paint has kind of softened the Model Magic and the dryer is not Model Magic friendly. So I gotta dig out my dark wax. Of course, it's on the very bottom. And I'm gonna knock off everything. Try to get it out. think I need to go buy some Dixie Belle dirt. Okay, so let's recap. Well, let's give this a little bit of a dry. So let's recap. I used this Redesign by Prima mold that I got downtown at Flipping Fabulous. And I used some Model Magic, and I just literally you just stick it in the mold and kind of smooth it out. And this one was the one we did earlier. So you literally just kind of stick it in your mold, pop it out, and let that one dry. So I let it dry overnight, and then in the morning I will flip it over and let it dry on the other side. So then we experimented. This one has, and this is a fondant mold that I got off of Temu, but I'm going to check Hobby Lobby and see if they have, because I know they have pink fondant molds. I just don't know if they have this one, because this design was what we used on this pumpkin, and it fits perfectly on those side panels, and it looks really pretty. So I used paintable caulk on this one and smoothed it out. So we will let that dry for a couple of days. And then I also used this tiny one, and it makes these little itsy bitsy little molds. And I used that one. So I'm going to get my yucky, I'm checking my brushes here. Let me get kind of a yucky stencil brush. This one is not one of my favorite ones. But I'm going to gently try to add, I'm experimenting. We're going to add a little bit of wax. You probably need to go a little heavier, but this may not. Let's try some ink instead. It's kind of working. You kind of see the difference. Kind of, not a whole lot. Let's try something else. Let's try the microfiber cloth and see what happens. This wax may just not be dark enough. Or it may just not be bold enough. There we go. I just got to get a little bit bolder. I might have to try some. Oop, taking the paint off. So there's, you can tell a little bit of difference. It's not quite what I look like, so let's try. Anyway, let's try some ink and see what happens. The ink is clear over here. So let's get that out. Amanda says she loves this idea. Thank you. I really like that trim. It's really pretty. So let's try some ground espresso. This is just archival ink. You could use Distress Oxide. Let's see what this does. That's more like it. Let's see what it does on its own. There we go. Now that wax is on this side is resisting everything. Now it's super grungy. So this is the side that has wax on it, and it's not taking the ink as well. This side is taking the ink pretty well. You get all the little edges and the corners. So there you go. Get these bottom edges down here. I have to get a little finger dauber to see if I can get into those edges a little more. So here's plain without any distressing. And there is the distress side. I might have gotten a little bit too much there, but I think I still need to get a little bit more in there, but I'll have to get a smaller something, whether it be a dauber or see if a paintbrush will work. Get into some of those nooks and crannies. I don't think it likes the wax. Okay, that's pretty good. What do y'all think? Super cute. So this is our gold one, and I'll come back and finish it later, but I just kind of wanted to show you that technique. Super fun. So there you go. Cute little pumpkins. Thanks so much for sticking with me. Let's see if I can get my camera walked over. Thanks for hanging out with me even while I had all those technical difficulties. So if you're watching the replay, don't mind the technical difficulties in the middle and see I'm going wacko again. So here's our cute little pumpkin. I will finish up the rest throughout the week, and then on one of this weekend's lives, we will revisit the caulking trimming and see what it looks like. Bonita says very cute. Thank you. Amanda's also said it was cute. So thanks for hanging out with me, and let's do the giveaway. So I'm going to flip it back to the overhead again. So let's let me pull up the giveaway. I think I only have two, so it's between Amanda and Cheryl. So here were my participants for the day. So we're going to confirm that, and then we're going to hit start. And Amanda is our winner. Congratulations, Amanda. Woot woot. She is tonight's winner. Put that back. Okay, doke. So I have a lot of unfinished projects, so I definitely need to come back live this weekend so we can kind of revisit a few things and do some other projects so that I can get those finished. But thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. We will get those fixed hopefully soon. Mama needs a different computer. So thanks for hanging out with me. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you later. Thanks.